Tim, yeah, it's Matt France. Just when you look at this group of nine players, what are you most proud of with this guy, with this prospect group?
Well, I think obviously nine is a big number for an NHL team. You've seen the amount of draft picks we've had over the last couple of years and the high end type of players that we've drafted. So I'm really excited for every one of these kids, to be quite honest. We have Theo and Otto coming back as second year players with Sweden that got to the finals last year and lost to USA. We got Dvorsky playing his first year pro hockey at the AHL levels, had a good first half here. Looking to see how he responds to a big tournament where he's the guy now. He's got to be the man. So, looking forward to again different these different personalities and how they infuse themselves with their teams and seeing how they react in this situation. Obviously, this is one of the biggest tournaments these players will play in, representing the country. So again, I'm really excited for every single one of them. I mentioned a couple of names like Stancil, his second year, back at it. Pekarsek, second year, back at it. Kost, Jekko, Jurasek. Jurasek got hurt last year, so it's really his first year. So those three first timers, and obviously Ralph with Team USA. So I'm really excited to see how they respond and playing against their peers and probably the best tournament again, the best tournament they'll play against with their own age group. So exciting to see them.
Tim, it's Lou Korek. Just curious what the discussions were like in having Dvorsky take a pause and be able to go there while it looks like he's having a pretty good year in Springfield.
Yeah, and this is something that we feel very adamant about is letting our prospects decide if they like to play in this tournament. We encourage it because again, this is something that's center stage for the hockey world and especially if kids their own age see they're at. And it's nice to see him. He's going to get a lot of confidence coming from this tournament. He's had a great first half in the AHL, really finding his feet as a top player in the AHL. He's scoring some big time goals for our team in Springfield, and he's a big player. We put a lot of responsibility on him. Looking forward to seeing what he has for the second half. But again, we want to see what he could do here at this at center stage of a big tournament and see him come back with lots of confidence. And we like to see him dominate there, to be quite honest.
Yeah, Tim, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. I think it's his fourth tournament. Obviously, he's having success in the American League right now. Just how important is it for him to go over there and look like one of the better players?
I think for his confidence wise is to show that I think he's going to go back and see in this tournament and see where how much he's grown as a player, being in the AHL. And I think that players notoriously have come back from these tournaments that have played pro and they I wouldn't say struggling, but they see that it's not an easy league in the AHL, and then they come back and play in this tournament and they develop so much more growth within their game, being the leader, being that person that's counted on, and then they have a really good second half. So that's what we're hoping happens with Devo. Again, he's had a great first half with us. He's shown huge steps in his growth, maturity at both ends of the ice, understanding that the details are what's important in pro hockey, and he's gathered that information and applied that to his game. We're very happy with his first half and where he's come as a player. And now we just want to see him go there and have a real constructive tournament and lead his team.
Yeah, what areas of his game have you liked development wise this year?
Well, to be quite honest, faceoffs has been important for all these young players. We see it throughout their careers. From when I played, the Crosbys that first came in the league didn't really understand what faceoffs were all about and how much they meant to a hockey team and getting puck control. And these young players come in. It's not that they're good at it; they just don't understand how important it is. Now he's understanding. He's been put in big situations and shorthanded. We put him out in key situations of faceoffs, up a goal, down a goal. He's a guy that's on the ice. So he's really excelled at it, and we want him to get better. And something that we strived at, and he now understands. And really, we're looking for him to take another step in the second half and becoming a dominant player.
Yeah, Tim, with Yurachek, I know you mentioned him a bit before, but what kind of a reward is this for him for working through the injuries and persevering and coming back and trying to get his game going where you guys want him to be?
Yeah, this has been really tough for him. As you know, as a young player, he got hurt, and I think it was a second or third shift of the World Juniors last year. Hadn't played a game since until coming back this year. In November, and getting hurt first period of the third game coming back. So it's been a long haul for him, putting the work in, getting the rehab, and then going through it a second time and missing almost 5 weeks, I believe, from his last injury. I think this we had two games in the AHL, or sorry, the OHL with Brantford. And he played really well in both games. He had 2 goals in the second game. In the first game, he had a nice assist. So getting his feet under him, he's had one exhibition game. I believe he's playing again today against Canada, second exhibition game, and then he up and running for the tournament. So this is a big tournament for him. He was really excited. It gave him some motivation from his last injury to get back, try and be ready for this tournament. It was like a timetable of trying to get back and get some games in and get ready. Obviously, these kids put a lot into their careers, and playing for their country is nothing short of what they play for their whole childhood hockey. They want to do this. They're excited about it. So I'm excited for him because he has put the work in, and it's been a long haul for him, over 9 months of rehab from the first injury, and again another 5 weeks from the second one. So he's excited to play, and I'm excited to watch him.
Tim, I know this might be a little bit like picking your favorite child, but you guys have 9 there. Are there any that you're either more surprised or more happy for that they're going to get this chance to play World Juniors?
Well, I'd say, like, when I first started off this conversation, everyone has a unique part of their careers or where they're going with these teams. With Theo and Otto, they sort of have redemption, being leaders now, both wearing A's for the team, trying to come back and with another good Swedish team and taking a run for it. Obviously, they fell short to a really good USA team last year in the gold medal game, so they'll be back up and running. Obviously, with Dvorsky and Pekarsik with Slovakia coming back and trying to do some damage for them. And then new guys, like Ralph, for instance, a first year guy at St. Cloud that's come in and had a real good first half. Been a rookie on his team and taken huge steps to make this team, USA team. So it's not an easy lineup to crack, and he's done that. So all these guys, and Jekyll's first year and Costa's first year. So again, we're really excited about all of them, but all have unique years with the teams, and different ways of trying to help their teams win, whether it be a second year or first year. That we're just looking forward to have them all do well. We were pretty proud of our 5 guys last year, and what they did for each and every one of their teams. And having 9 this year is a credit to our amateur staff and the job they've done, homework they've done in drafting these young players.
Tim, piggybacking there a little bit off of Stenberg and Lindstein. People tend to look at their stats and think, oh, well, they're not putting up numbers. They're not playing well over there. Can you just give everybody a perspective of what kind of a league they're playing in and how valuable this experience playing in Sweden is going to be when they finally get over here?
Yeah, and again, if there are people that don't watch the league, it's a really tough league. It's a hard league to get points in. It's well coached, well structured, and there's a lot of good players, a lot of very old, there's a lot of older players, veteran players that play in the league. It's a league that it's very comparable to Finland. Finland's a little more hard nosed, but Sweden has a lot of good players in it, and it's tough for 19 and 20-year-olds to play in this league, and sometimes players get lost over there because of that. They have to jump back up from junior to this league, just because it is so hard, and it's hard for these young players. And it's just like it's very comparable to the AHL. We bring over, like, again, Dvorsky's 19 years old playing this league. Another guy, Danielson, Detroit Red Wings pick, same year as Dvorsky, 9th overall. He's playing in the AHL, and these are tough leagues. They're tough for these young players to play in and to adapt to. So we feel very confident that Theo and Otto have had productive first halves here over in Sweden. Points are not everything for development within players. They've got to learn to play the game the right way before they come over here and get onto bigger ice and acclimate to the North American game. So we're happy with their production over in Sweden so far. It's very well coached, and they're learning the details of the game, and we're hoping that after next year, when they do come over, that they're more prepared for North American hockey and a better step and development towards making the Blues as a full-time player.
And Tim, along those lines, people hear that you have 9, and it makes sense, common sense, that if you have 4 and 2 make it to the NHL, that's about right. If you have 9, you get more that could make the NHL. How comfortable are you that a number of these players can make the NHL and be contributors? What does this mean to the Blues fans who see that number 9 and think, wow?
Well, it obviously shows them that we're heading in the right direction. That our path is we have a plan, and the plan seems to be going in the right direction right now with these 9 players, and we're hoping that these players obviously make the Blues in the NHL in the next year and years to come, and we feel confident enough that with our development staff and with our amateur scouting staff that these players are players that will thrive within the Blues organization, and we hope one day that they're holding a Stanley Cup up again for this organization. You got Theo and Otto and Dvorsky as first round picks, and Jurasek as a first round pick, Pekarsik a third round, Ralph a second round. Go on with Stancil, Koss, and Jekko. They're good players. They're real good players, and at the end of the day, you hope all 9 make it. I'd say that you will get 3 to 4, I guess. But at the end of the day, we feel all 9 have a chance to make the NHL, and this is just another step. They're stepping stones, and they're all their careers. And this is a step in the right direction for their development to play in big time games and a big tournament like this, where everyone and all their countries are watching. And obviously in Canada, it's going to be sold out in these venues. So this is a real good stepping stone to all their careers and what's ahead of them. So we hope it's now all 9 guys will play with the Blues and at the one day hold up the Stanley Cup for us.
With Ralph in particular, I think someone was probably maybe a little bit surprised at his inclusion so quickly with Team USA. I mean, what have you thought about his first half at St. Cloud?
Well, I saw him at the evaluation camp in I think it was late August there, and he was early August, and he was really good. He's a big body defenseman that really shuts down plays quickly, and his first pass guy moves up. He might be a left shot version of Perico. Those are big shoes to fill, and I don't want to think that I'm saying he's Perico right now, but that's the type of player he is. That he's a shutdown guy. He closes out quickly. He's a little more physical than Colton was at that age, and he's strong. But he's come a long way, and with our amateur staff when we picked him, they were really high on him, and from where he came from last year to where he is now, like he's taken huge steps and huge strides. He seems to get accustomed to the level of play that he's playing at very quickly. So that leads me to believe that really at the end of the day, you're going to see a guy now that is on this team is going to be playing big minutes and at big times in games for Team USA. So I'm excited to see what he's brought. But at the end of the day, yeah, was I surprised? No, because I saw him in August and saw where he'd come from prior year, his draft year, to where he was at August. He just seems to a guy that adapts very quickly.
Tim, what do you make of? I know the Q tends to be a little more offensive centric, but the offensive production you're getting from Pekarchik and Moncton and the success he's having with them there.
Yeah, you know what? Pekarsik when he was playing last year, he's a player that in the USHL is another league that's very tough to put points on the board. He's a player that drives through another player. He doesn't go around; he drives through him. So that's one thing that again that when you talk about a St. Louis Blue, he's kind of indicative of what the history of the Blues are all about. Big body, strong on pucks, and plays through guys. So I'm not surprised at the points because he plays the right way. He's a detailed kid. And again, he's not offensively skilled where he's going to beat you 1-on-1 or 1-on-3. He's going to go around the team. He goes through guys and plays the right way. So again, his points are coming from his details and his work ethic and playing the right way. So I'm really happy with his season so far. He's a great situation with great ownership and great coaching staff there in Moncton. So we were happy when they traded for him because we just knew it'd be a good environment for him. Again, from Dubuque last year to here, Dubuque was a really good transition team too from the USHL. So we've been really excited about his work ethic and such a great kid too. Again, no matter what organization these kids are involved in, it's really at the end of the day their character and their personality that's going to allow that growth. And again, we've been very fortunate that we've had some really good kids and their growth is really because of what the determination and work that they put in.
Hey, Tim, I know this is World Junior call. Could I ask you a Snuggerud question if you don't mind?
You sure can.
Yeah, just he wanted to go back and work on some things and improve. We see the headlines. He's Player of the Week, Player of the Month, what have you. From your perspective, the organization's perspective, what have you seen? Is he improving in those areas? What type of player do you see? Now that he's been there a few more months.
You know what? Again, we talked about this earlier as details, and with Theo and Otto being playing a professional league in Sweden, and everything that Jimmy wanted to do and go back this year. He wanted to be a leader. He wanted to be a vocal leader, and wanted to be a physical leader on the ice. Everything he talked about in his details of the game to get better, he's done so far this first half of the season. So we're really happy with him. He's put the work in throughout the summer with his team. He's taken another step to be a pro. So again, everything that he talked about and why he wanted to go back, he's accomplished that so far. So again, the next step for him now is leading this team to hopefully a national championship. That's his goals and desires, and we want him to do that as well. We're really really pleased with his work ethic. He's put the work in this summer, and he talked the talk and walked the walk. He's walking the walk because he's done a really good job.
Tim, with Theo, I mean, obviously this season at times there have been limited ice time, and how do you kind of monitor that situation with him and when he goes through those stretches?
Well, we're very close, obviously, with Steiner having his contacts in Sweden, and we have Tommy Shodin that's in Sweden as well, and he's actually in Theo's city. That's Tommy's hometown, so he sees him play a lot. He knows the coaching staff, knows the manager, so it's been, again, we don't like to interfere. We ask questions, and then we try and help the players out be better for their teams with our development staff, and Tommy Shodin's on that development staff. So it's been a really good working environment. And when things don't go well for these players, we have guys reach out to them and talk to them and reach out to the teams, find out what they're missing from their play and why they're not getting as much ice time or what they need to do better to get more ice time. And all teams, they want to win, and they put the best players on the ice in those situations. So Theo he's had a good year. Again, you're talking about a learning curve. Now he's learning to play against men every single night and be a top four guy, a guy that's going to move the puck, a guy that's not afraid to get physically in there as a 19-year-old in a men's league. So again, it's a really tough league, and especially for a defenseman, a young defenseman. He's had a good year, and the communication that we have with these teams, with Steiner and Tommy, has been really good. It's been beneficial. We can talk to these teams and let them know our feelings, and they can let us know what they're thinking, and we relay that back to the player and try and help the player get better.
And with Stancil, how has his adjustment to major junior in Canada been?
Yeah, it's been obviously he didn't come over last year, so he actually didn't even go to his team until after training camp here. So I thought it was going to be a harder adjustment for him, but obviously he's a really good kid. He's had a lot happen to him over the last year, and he's really handled and persevered through it. He's just a really good human being, and that team in Kelowna was really excited to get him. And now they're more excited that he's on their team. He's just a quality kid and a hardworking kid, and it really, a transition for him was seamless, which I was a little nervous about. Obviously, it was first time coming over, so again, all the accolades go towards Stance, because he's come in and just worked his tail off, and really he's been a great kid for that organization. He scores goals for him, but his details are even better, so they're really happy with him.